Hi, welcome. Today is day 27 of my 40 days on the yoga mat. And today I thought it would be appropriate that we work a little bit with the lower body and a little bit with the arms and shoulders. Being it's spring, I think everyone is inspired to just get active and moving more than what they have been in the last several months. So I think it's important to really make sure we save our joints and make sure we have the flexibility and the pliability to be doing all of the strength training and running and biking that we're going to be doing now, if not very soon. So what you'll need today is an AccuBall. If you don't have an AccuBall, it's a ball with little teeny nubbies on it. A golf ball or even a tennis ball will work just fine. If you don't have any one of those, think about using like a frozen water bottle or even a soup can just to have that pressure against the bottom of the foot. And so just start out by rolling out the bottom of the foot. Now, as much pressure as your body feels appropriate. Now, if this is your first time, you're going to notice there's a lot of sensitivity. So just try to be patient with your body as you start to toughen up your feet. I'm a big advocate for exercising in bare feet. Now, things like running in bare feet, things like that, that takes time to progress down to. But when it comes to yoga and fitness activities like this, I think being on the feet is the best way for your body to get the response and for you to start to learn what your body can and cannot do. So try to roll all different surface areas, the inner arch, the center of the foot, the plantar tendon. Get up into the ball of the foot. Notice if you feel anything crunchy, anything popping or clicking, and pay attention to that. Some areas may be really tender and just do a little pressure and hold. That will work just fine. If you're not familiar with the feet, we have 72,000 nerve endings on the bottoms of the feet. In yoga, we call them nadis. And so all of those different nerve endings correlate with the different aspect of our body, physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. And so just rolling out. The heel is a great place to get, especially if you're someone that has sciatica or a lot of pelvis issues. And you can't go wrong with rolling. If you have one, an AccuBall or a tennis ball or a golf ball, invest in something and bring it to work with you. Get your feet off on the airplane when you're at home at night. There's really no wrong way to roll out the feet. And since the foot is the bottom of our core, your body will only benefit. All right, let's switch to the other foot. When you switch to the other foot, what you should notice is the foot that you just rolled out just feels much more open and spread on the floor. You just feel like you have a greater awareness of standing than when you did previously. Each foot may have its own tender spots and its own issues, so honor that. And we're not forcing. So if this is your first time rolling, just be sweet to your feet. Rolling out the bottoms of the feet is a great way to help loosen up the hamstrings. So if you tend to fight with tight hamstrings or even a tight lower back, working through the feet is a great way to aid in that. If you do have sensitive feet, restless leg syndrome, cramping in the feet, rolling out the feet is going to be a great way to aid those things. As well as if you feel as though you have pelvic floor dysfunction or you find that you struggle accessing the core, the feet literally is where the core begins. So it's a great place to start. Just spend a couple more moments here. If you feel like you have to go back to the other foot, it's feeling a little bit tender, more tender than this foot, feel free to do that. There is no wrong way. I think it's really easy to get caught up in the rigidity of something, even yoga, as we try to create ownership over poses. And so try just really to be open to whatever your practice leads you towards today. All right, I think that's pretty sufficient. You can move the ball off to the side. And now grab your strap and grab your block. So these are two other props that you'll need for today. Take your block. I have a 4-inch block. If all you have is a 3-inch block, that'll be fine. If you don't have a block, a phone book or a couple of books stacked up that are hardcover, those will work really good as well. So set your block down on the floor and have it right in front of you so it looks like the length of your foot. Step your left foot up onto the block and just let your toes hang off slightly, keeping the hips level with each other. Exhale, bow forward. And as you bow forward, relax your arms towards the floor, and it feels as though you're really sitting into the straight legs hip. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Now we're not locking the knee, but rather keeping a firm quad muscle to protect the knee. Inhale through the nose, drape your spine. Now stay here as long as you need to, or slowly start to consider lengthening the foot leg on the block. So now I have both of my legs long, even though they're definitely asymmetrical. Lean a little bit more forward. The leg that's on the block does not have to fully extend. You can just partially extend it. And noticing now a lot of really good length on the block leg. Take a couple good rounds of breath. You could also probably work this on a stair. Just make sure you're very safe, and if you need to, have a railing, and maybe practice that at the bottom of the staircase. All right, let's start to move. I'm just going to shift back a little bit so that I don't run off camera for you. Feet are still parallel. I'm lengthening into both legs, not locking. Now I'm just going to start turning my torso, allowing my hips to shift. Subtle bend in the knee if necessary. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Remember, nothing is forced. We're allowing. What a great mantra for life. Now bend your knees, draw up through the pelvic floor so you're feeling a little bit of contraction by the sit bones, and roll your spine up until you're upright. Nice, let's try the opposite foot. So just dance over to the opposite side. Hips are level even though one knee is bent. Now I'm hinging my hips back, hugging the sit bones together. Let your belly drape over your thigh. Relax your arms. So noticing some lower back and hip length on your right side. Lengthen through the foot that's on the floor. Watch again not to lock the knee or really rotate the knee inward. Keep that knee forward, which if you're looking at the ankle should look really happy. It shouldn't look sunken in one way or the other. Stay here as long as you need to. Otherwise, possibly start to experiment lengthening your right leg. That's the block leg. Keep the right hip moving back, which is going to bring a little bit more of a potent stretch into that hamstring. Now lean forward, inhale through the nose. I could also be on blocks on my hands if necessary. Fingertips work great, or you can allow your body to drop. Really focus on creating space on the right side of the lower back. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Be very mindful of the emotional connection to the pose. Sometimes it's very common that we feel anxious, fidgety, restless in an asana, and we blame the pose, or we blame why we're feeling that way because of X, Y, and Z that happened to us recently. See if you can stay patient enough and allow those sensations to pass. Let's start to make a little movement now. I turn a little bit to the right and then a little bit to the left. I'm only going to the place that the length of my spine and the willingness of my block leg is allowing me to. I'm never putting myself in a position where I feel as though I want to lock my knees. Keep your breath. And then back to center, bend both knees, draw up through the anal sphincter, perineum, urethra, little glute contraction, roll yourself up. So we're not feeling the hip flexors or the neck, roll our body upright. Great, release the block. Move your block off to the side, let's turn to the length of the mat, and just casually step back with the right foot. Turn your toes straight forward, both set of feet straight forward, and then double check the back foot. If you're new to Functional Warrior 1 calf release, it's very common to look and then that back heel slides in again due to the restriction through the hamstring and the IT band. So level and square the pelvis. Now keep your pelvis neutral, bend the front knee and fix the front knee. So the front knee is not going to move. When the back leg is tight, we give ourselves a false positive by bending and straightening the front leg because in our mind it feels like we're doing something. Less is more here. So inhale, back heel stays on the floor. Exhale, bend your back knee. So I'm feeling some definite length through my calf and my Achilles, maybe even to the arch of the foot. Inhale, lengthen again. If this feels really good, it's like, wow, this isn't too bad. One of two things, slightly lengthen your stride or slightly internally rotate the back foot. Wherever my knee goes, my hip is going to go. So now you're going to feel if that foot's rotated in, the hip coiling in slightly and extend up again. Exhale, press down through the heel and inhale. Nice. Exhale, keeping a strong pelvic core. Remember, everything is a core move. Exhale and inhale. Let's go a couple more rounds. Exhale, breathe out. Keep the back heel down, keep the front knee bent without gripping. Exhale, breathe, spine is long. I'm not dropping my belly forward. You're going to feel that in the lower back. Exhale. We really have to start thinking about being patient enough to do these types of movements so that we feel more successful in the more complicated ones, the ones that require a lot more strength and a lot more focus. Let's do one more here. And exhale. Really worth taking the time to do this, especially if you're a runner or a biker. And let's switch. Opposite leg back. Again, it's not a long stride. We do want to make sure, though, our feet are in one straight line. They're on actually 2 water skis, not 1. Turn the back toes straight forward. Now, you might feel really pigeon-toed once that back leg is straight forward because you're not used to turning your feet forward. All right, bent knee, neutral pelvis, pelvic core is strong. I'm stiff through my torso. It doesn't mean I'm sucking my gut in. It just means that my core, 360 degrees round, is nice and active. Exhale, bend the back knee without letting the heel lift. You won't feel much of anything otherwise. Exhale, bend, press the heel down. Inhale, extend. Root through your front foot. Exhale, bend, and inhale, extend. I'm going to slightly internally rotate this foot. Exhale, bend, and inhale, extend. Nice, keep breathing. Exhale. You may find that you're more in the anterior tibialis, which is the front outside of the shin, especially if you're someone that walks on the outside edges of the feet. You may feel this more on the inside of the ankle, the inside of the heel, or dead center through the calf and the Achilles. Exhale. As we start to pay more attention to what we're feeling, it can start giving us clues as to why we have the issues that we have, rather than just moving blindly through exercise, and blindly through life for that matter. Exhale, bend, and inhale, extend. Knowing that muscles that come from the ankle attach up to the knee and beyond. So if you're feeling this slightly up towards the knee joint and it's discomfort, go with that and allow it to pass. If it's shooting pain, I want you to shorten your stride and minimize the effects of the stretch. Let's go one more. Exhale, bend, and inhale, extend. Nice, step up. I want you to go back to your tighter side and just do an additional 5. That way we can give that tighter side just the extra little oomph with the 2-to-1 ratio. I'll be stepping back with my left foot. I'm going to internally rotate. I just know I need that extra little bit. I do this move a lot at home. All right, front knee bends, neutral pelvis, body feels upright. Exhale, bend. My hip is slightly pushing out to the side. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Press the heel to the floor. Nice work. Exhale. And inhale. Let's go 3 more. Try not to lose it in the pelvis. Sometimes we focus too much on one body part and everything else just goes haywire. Last one. And back up. Nice job. Roll out the ankles. Looks good. And back to center. All right, grab your strap now and fold the strap in half. As you fold the strap in half, take the strap into your left arm and rotate that left arm so the fold of the elbows turned up, and take the arm all the way to the sky without hiking the shoulder. Keep that guy down. Now, if you do have more developed deltoids or you have some misalignment in the shoulder, you may notice that there's difficulty in keeping the shoulder rotated, as I discussed before. I really want to encourage you to keep that external rotation and then plug the shoulder back. That way, when we work with the tricep stretch, it's actually the tricep. And then through the underarm, we're getting lat, and we're also going to start to get that serratus muscle through the side of the shoulder. Take your opposite arm, without flaring the rib cage or rounding the right shoulder. Think about now, I'm going to let my top arm go for a moment. This front shoulder rolling open without thrusting the rib cage forward. What ends up happening is we've given ourselves a false positive. We've rolled the shoulder open, yes, but all we've really done is thrown the rib cage forward, so everything is still short. All right, using the strap can allow us to move a little bit more mindfully and willingly in this tricep and shoulder girdle release. Use your head kindly, gently press against the top arm, but again, keep the tricep pointing forward, elbow to the sky, relax your shoulders and roll the right shoulder open. Nice long neck. Inhale through the nose. I'm just standing strong in Tadasana. Legs are grounded, pelvic floor is strong, and I'm breathing. Inhale. Expand your lungs, exhale, engage on the pelvic floor, the root chakra. Inhale and exhale. Remember that the pelvic floor does not include a really tight glute squeeze. You may notice some glute work, but it should not be the only thing. Now turn your head, full rotation, keep the head neutral. We're not tipping, to look out over your right shoulder. When your head, neck, and eyes can't rotate anymore, when your head and neck can't rotate anymore, look your eyes even further back. Big neck stretch. And now inhale, rotate the head back to center. I'll turn sideways. Feet are about hips distance. Bend your knees, watching not to turn the tailbone back or flare the rib cage. Nice neutral. Exhale, sit back into your hips as you come into a really modest forward fold. Extend yourself long like you're on a conveyor belt. Lift through the ribs and lower belly. Roll your right shoulder open. So now I'm either going to stay in more of like a half forward bend. If I'm choosing to fold, my hamstrings and lower back have to be willing. So if all of a sudden I have a basketball shape between my belly and my thighs, bend your knees so that your belly and thighs actually rest on each other. And then if you choose to extend the legs, you have to be able to keep that connection. Roll your right shoulder open even more. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, engage through the front belly walls to feel even more stretch in your lower back. Now you're probably wondering how much longer we're going to stay here. This feels really good, so I'm going to stay here a little bit longer. You can come out at any time. Bend your knees. Now contract through the lower core. So there's a slight roll-up effect. Very slowly release your arms. Now if you're not used to that kind of opening in space, your arms may feel a little stuck in place, so just kind of move the arms, move the shoulders. Nice work. And just take the arms up overhead, and then drop them open wide. Allow the deltoids to find their new place. All right, switch hands. So take the strap now into the right hand, bring the right arm up in front, rotate it externally, that means out. So the fold of the elbows pointing up, and the shoulder plugs back. Now lift the arm up without letting the elbow turn out or the arm kind of trick you into an illusion that it's lifted. Again, honoring the shoulder socket and the rotator is something we do want to pay attention to. So I always talk about in class, there's a difference between doing the pose and actually paying attention in the pose and working the proper muscles. So as I scooch my hands towards each other, I can touch my hands behind my back, but what ends up happening is I'm so restricted that I can't make the proper adjustments. Gently draw down on the strap through the top and bottom arm, so I'm getting a tricep stretch. And now take a look at your left shoulder, roll it open. My right shoulder likes this a little bit more than my left shoulder. Inhale, stand strong in Tadasana rather than hang out in Tadasana. Own the pose, no matter how easy it is, no matter how advanced it is. Be in your body and breathe. See if you can mindfully pay attention with full inhalations and full exhalations to where the sensations are in your body. Stay with your breath. If you're choosing to full rotation with the head, neck, and eyes to the left without letting the bottom shoulder roll forward, keep that openness, really important. Front ribs stay relaxed. Deep transversus muscle, that's our deep core, stays buttoned up and strong. All right, head back to center. I'll turn sideways. Bend your knees so we're not putting so much stress in the lower back and hamstrings when you fold. Pelvic core is strong. Press into your glute muscles. Now belly and thighs meet first. Extend yourself long without flaring the ribs so you can be more in a half forward bend. I feel like I'm tucking my tailbone, but really I'm contracting the pelvic floor. So muscle is moving bone. If I'm going for that full forward fold, I have to make the connection first, then considering lengthening my legs. Once I lose that connection, go back to the place where your knees and belly were touching. It will only assist your lower back. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, relax the chin inward. Roll the bottom shoulder open and keep reaching through the tricep and top elbow, which is now really your bottom elbow. Breathe mindfully. Remember, I'm going to that place that's most appropriate for me. Just because you're folded and you're trying to bring your head to the floor doesn't make the pose any more effective. All right, to come up, contract through the pelvic floor. So I'm feeling this internal pull as I rise up and slowly release the arms. Whew. Roll out the shoulders. Awesome. So once I've released my upper body, I'll take the strap and drop it off to the side. Take your block and place your block between your inner thighs. So my feet are going to go the width of the block now. Engage your thigh muscles so that the knees stay pointing forward and spread your toes nice and wide, nice neutral pelvis. So as I stay grounded through my feet, hugging on my block, I'm assisting the pelvic floor to be a little bit more active. Let's tip from the hip forward about 45 degrees. Now bend your knees and sit back into your hips. Any type of a squat, you want to be able to have the shin as vertical as possible. When we're loading the knees, the sacrum slams forward, which not only wreaks havoc on our lower back, but makes it really difficult for our core to charge. Now contract through the lower deep belly in front of the pelvis internally to feel the spread through the sacrum and the length through the lower back. This is not tucking, okay? This is also not flaring forward. Again, slamming that pelvis forward. Let's go cactus arms, forearms and palms face in. Draw the arms back without flaring the rib cage. Inhale through the nose. Now if your arms are going alongside the ears, keep that internal rotation, which is really the arms turning out like we did before. Interlace the fingers and hug the arms to the ears, drop your shoulders back. Front ribs relax down, deep core contracts. Imagine as though your thumbs are attached to your lower back and lengthen your thumbs away from your lower back. Lengthen your lower back away from your thumbs. Notice the line of my knee and my ankle. That's why we did all that calf release. Inhale. I can be here, same muscles. Exhale. On the exhalation, belly to thighs first. Start to lengthen the legs, remove your block. I'm only lengthening to the place where I can keep that connection. Hug the sit bones, keep the knees and shins pointing forward. Inhale, let's go chest expander. If not, grab a strap. Exhale. Keep breathing. Drop your arms to the mat. Take your block. Now, when I have something between my thighs for my legs to hug on, the likelihood of me contracting my pelvic core, especially if I'm not very comfortable with that awareness yet, is only going to help you. Ground your feet, bend your knees, sit back without flaring your sit bones open. Hug them and contract on the pelvic floor. It's that vent shape that's on the bottom of your body. And now roll up. I'm contracting rigorously. Arms plug back. I'm either going cactus or I'm extending my arms alongside my ears without tainting my torso. Inhale, I'm feeling a lot of deep contraction here. Exhale, sit back and feel space between the bottom or top of the sacrum, bottom of the rib cage. The arms again are trying to rotate out, so you should feel a broadness in the upper back. A lot of good shoulder work here that's often overlooked because we're trying to sit as deep as possible or overuse our core in the wrong way. Again, when our lower legs are tight, it makes it really difficult to sit back. So a little bit of time and effort on the right body parts, we're going to be much more successful in a pose like chair. Now hug on your block, and you should feel all the bottom of your body muscles start to contract a little bit more. Drop your shoulders. Belly to thighs first, bow and release. Shake out the head and neck. Remove your block. Back into a chest expander. If your hands are stuck on your sacrum, grab something, your shirt, a towel, a strap, to allow the hands to move away. Play with the rotation of the palms and also with how your shoulders move. Rolling them in versus rolling them out is going to change, especially that pectoral stretch. Nice full breath. When we take the time to be aware in the pose and more patient, we actually get much more out of it. So then if by chance we do start moving quickly, we're not just trying to keep up, we're actually in the practice. Rock on your spine. Just let the lower back muscles know that there's going to be movement again. Simple but very effective. Turn the knees to the side. Now use your top hand for help, not to strain the neck. Roll up slow. You can come to the center of your mat. Every little bit counts in life, and I think sometimes we can feel very discouraged when things don't seem to be going our way, but maybe in fact they are going our way, and life is trying to teach us many valuable lessons so that when we get where we're going, we're actually going to stay where we are. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your effort, and until I see you again, which I hope is soon, meet me on your mat tomorrow. Namaste.